The Islanders have faced some of the NHL's elite over the past few days, but now they are on a two-game losing streak as they head out west for 3 games. Let's take it to the ice to talk Isles hockey with Islanders beat writer for the New York Post, Ethan Sears. Ethan, how's it going, man?
Going great. Thanks so much for having me, Dexter.
Always good to talk some Isles hockey with you, Ethan. Always good. Now, Ethan, the Isles knocked off the Devils on Friday, but then they fell to the Hurricanes and they suffered a shootout loss to the Bruins on Tuesday night. Is this team ready to compete with the top teams in the league?
Well, the Islanders are definitely a team that's capable of beating anyone on any night. Even before this stretch, we saw that with their play against the Avalanche, against the Rangers, and with the first time they played Carolina when they beat them down in Raleigh. They're not particularly overwhelmed by the speed that teams like the Devils and the Bruins have. They probably had the better of that game last night at 5-on-5, and they seem to play up to their competition. The bigger issue for them is some inconsistency, and that seems to show up against teams that they really should be beating, like Nashville and St. Louis, who they both lost to at home, for example. And that's something that they're going to need to address as they kind of move forward here in the playoff race.
Now, moving forward, the 3-game West Coast trip that I mentioned earlier. So starting on Friday, at Arizona, then at Vegas, and at Colorado. What's the mindset of this team coming off the shootout loss as they begin this road trip?
Well, they seemed pretty happy last night when we spoke to them after that shootout to get a point in Boston. They acknowledged that that's a good result. The Bruins have only lost 1 game at TD Garden this year, and they were down 2-0 and 3-2 in that game. And even though you can look back and nitpick it and say, well, they gave up a shorthanded goal and maybe they should have come out with 2 points. It's a little tough for them to be upset about only taking 1, and they don't seem to be. So they feel like they maybe have a little bit of momentum and started, a 5-game trip kind of on the right foot here.
All right, feeling good vibes heading into this trip. Now, the Islanders, they played their 30th game of the season on Tuesday night. They're 17-12-1. So, Ethan, evaluation time. How do you evaluate the Isles through 30 games?
Dexter, this team feels like it's a little bit of an enigma right now. They're right on the playoff cut line, and I think that they might stick around in that area for a while here. Like I said, they're capable of winning any night, and they're capable of losing some games that you really expect them to win. This is a tight playoff race in the Eastern Conference right now, and they look like they're going to be one of the teams that spends the next 4 months really slugging it out and for one of those wild card spots.
Well, we're going to see if they can slug it out, if they can lock down one of those wild card spots. But, consistency matters. That's what you'd like to see from the Islanders going forward. That is Ethan Sears, New York Post Islanders beat writer. Always great talking some hockey with you. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much, Dexter.